On Monday, the House okayed a proposal that would designate the first Saturday of October as Veterans Suicide Awareness Day. Sponsored by Representative Jamie Becker Finn, the bill would direct the governor to issue a proclamation honoring this observance each year.
We owe a duty not only to our veterans and service members, but also to their families, especially when they are the ones left in the aftermath. You cannot fix a problem if you aren't able to face the fact that the problem exists in the first place. Members, I ask for your support of this simple bill to deal with a not so simple issue.
House File 586 passed with a 127-0 vote and was moved to the Senate. On Tuesday, the House Commerce Committee approved House File 12, Representative Hunter Cantrell's proposal that would, in part, prohibit conversion therapy for vulnerable adults and anyone under the age of 18.
Sexuality is not a choice, and it cannot be changed. And someone who portrays a service that they offer as being capable of such is deceiving both patients and their families. The legislature has long set the scope of practice for practitioners, and this bill does not undermine the patient-practitioner relationship. Rather, it seeks to affirm the integrity of the mental health field as a whole.
Stakeholders and testifiers filled room 200 of the state office building for a chance to listen or to be part of the discussion. Those in support of the proposal spoke to the committee about how their experience with conversion therapy affected their lives.
Conversion therapy has had harmful and long-term effects on my mental health, my personal relationships, and my journey to self-love. These practices were a complete fraud with nothing but negative outcomes.
Others spoke in opposition to the bill. To some, conversion therapy was helpful and shared concerns that the proposal could limit a person's ability to determine their own treatment objectives.
I am concerned that this legislation would make it difficult for others to explore the option of sexual orientation change in accordance with their faith and core values.
Through these valuable resources, I was able to realize my goal, to live as a man who is now secure in my heterosexuality and has been married to my beautiful wife for over 8 years. Under the expansive language of this bill, resources like the ones that helped me could be interpreted as misleading.
Ultimately, House File 12 was approved as amended by the House Commerce Committee and sent to the General Register. On Wednesday, the House Public Safety and Criminal Justice Reform Finance and Policy Division gave 18 bills a hearing. One of the bills, House File 480, also known as Hannah's Law, is sponsored by Representative Marion O'Neill. The proposal would amend the Criminal Sexual Conduct Code in several ways, including updating the definition of consent, removing ignorance of a victim's age as a defense for statutory rape when the child is between 13 and 16 years old, and dismissing the statute of limitations for rape cases.
And I can't tell you how many people, how many women have come to me through email, just talking to me personally. Our staff have come to me and just thanked me for different parts of this bill because it's got so many different moving parts. But this really is impacting women's lives, even just having the conversation.
House File 480 was approved as amended and held over for possible omnibus bill inclusion. 2 bills passed off the floor during Thursday's House floor session. A bill to expand a disaster recovery loan program that aids farmers passed by a 127-0 vote. The bill would allow the Rural Finance Authority to declare market emergencies, freeing up funds for disaster recovery programs to farmers suffering weather-related losses not covered by insurance.
Absolutely, we need to thank our farmers. They continue to do just yeoman's work every single day. And they do it often with a smile on their face, with an optimistic view, with a belief in the greater good. They're just so resilient, and this is a way to allow them to continue to be resilient.
Representative Paul Anderson noted that the heavy snow this winter has created a burden for a sector already hit hard by 4 years of low commodity prices and high operating costs.
If I lose a machine shed, I'm going to have until spring to get the mess cleared up and get a tractor or combine repaired again. But if you're a dairy farmer, you got to get those cows milked tonight or tomorrow morning. You can't wait around a couple of weeks to see what happens with insurance. You got to get the repairs going, and our dairy farmers already are challenged by a lot of situations beyond their control.
A bill that would take aim at e-cigarettes was passed by the House on Thursday. House lawmakers voted 100 to 25 to pass House File 349, which would modify the Minnesota Clean Indoor Air Act to include activated electronic delivery devices used for vaping in its definition of smoking. Representative Lori Halverson sponsors the proposal.
1 in 5 Minnesota high school students are users of e-cigarettes. And these are kids who were not users of other tobacco products before. This is a new nicotine delivery system for our kids. That's the reality.
Some members voiced their opposition to the bill. Representative Pat Garofalo voted red, saying it would impede individuals' freedom to make their own decisions.
You know, some people still actually believe in letting people make their own personal choices and having personal freedoms without having the nanny state tell them what to do. This is the argument that this is about keeping it out of the hands of kids or schools when they're in school is a fallacy. It's already illegal under government and current regulations. You can't do it in a public location. This is not about healthier air. This is about the same thing it was the first time this issue came through here with the so-called Freedom to Breathe Act, the smoking ban. It's about government telling people what to do.
House File 349 now goes to the Senate, where Senator Carla Nelson is the sponsor. For nonpartisan coverage of the Minnesota House of Representatives, check out our Session Daily work on the House website, www.house.mn/sessiondaily.